Hi everybody! Today we're going deep into the new FlameFrags Wanted arc on the Unstable SMP. Flame just dropped I Became Wanted on the Unstable SMP, where he gets hunted by the law, barely survives, and then says he needs to track down players who can train him and turn him into a Minecraft combat master. On top of that, the community thinks Deputy Ace might secretly be working for Spoke, not Lettuce, which is wild. So in this video, we're doing two things: breaking down the Ace conspiracy and ranking 10 players who could realistically train Flame based on lore, PvP skill, and what the community's been saying. So first, a quick recap so we're all on the same page. In I Became Wanted on the Unstable SMP, Flame is leaving the spawn radius after being exiled during the King's Arc. The law, led by Deputy Ace, ignores the exile and starts hunting him down anyway. Flame runs, restocks at Lomity's farm, and starts practicing this new mace plus wind charge movement tech. But Ace eventually comes back with a whole army of lawmen in Netherite. They raid the farm, use slow fall arrows, and completely overwhelm Flame. Lomity sacrifices himself and gets arrested just so Flame can escape on horseback. At the end, Flame's alive, but he admits he's not strong enough and says he's going to find the players who can teach him how to actually master PvP. Now, let's talk about Ace. According to the Unstable Universe wiki, Deputy Ace is Lettuce K's right-hand man and a major antagonist in the King's Arc, leading the law's attacks on Wembu and Flame. But in the community, there's a theory floating around that he's actually working with Spoke behind Lettuce's back. You even see posts breaking it down point by point, like the screenshot you might have seen titled "Deputy Ace is working for Spoke," where the user argues Ace keeps hunting Flame even though Lettuce told Flame to get lost. Ace says, "I'm just following orders," but those orders don't really line up with what Lettuce wanted. In Wembu's POV, Ace gives Wembu extra food without Lettuce's permission. And if Flame ever escapes prison, Ace and Spoke could spin it as propaganda, making Lettuce look weak. You don't have to agree with it, but it's a solid theory. And if Ace is secretly helping Spoke, then Flame being chased out of spawn might actually be the first step in a much bigger plan. Meanwhile, the Unstable community is already doing homework for us. On the Unstable Universe wiki forums, there are threads literally titled things like "My theory for the question mark players who will train Flame," and "Guesses on who might teach Flame." People there are breaking training down by PvP type: sword, shield, axe, speed, mace, wind, charge, cart, bow tech. Using those threads plus the wiki pages and some Reddit posts, I pulled together 10 real candidates Flame might go to for training. The top 10 candidates. Number 1 has to be Marlowe. On the wiki, Marlowe is described as a dedicated lethal protector of the Mafia tomb, willing to kill to keep former Mafia members safe. She's heavily associated with high-tier gear and strong PvP, to the point where Parrot and Theo literally avoid direct combat with her and instead try to outplay her with traps and bows. On the forums, multiple people put Marlowe as their pick for sword or shield PvP trainer. And there's even a Reddit post just straight up titled, "I have a theory that FlameFrags is going to be trained by Marlowe in the end." So if Flame wants discipline, spacing, and clean dueling, Marlowe is the most logical sensei character. Second is Mainepair. Lore-wise, Mainepair is already a combat mentor. In Wembu's video, I Mastered Minecraft Combat, and its wiki page, Wembu literally goes to Mainepair, asking to be taught how to fight. Maine tells him most people want to learn, but won't put in the work, and then fights him using the mace to push him to improve. Maine's known for speed-based, axe-focused PvP and being a high-level guard under Prince Zam, alongside Flame and other top fighters. On the forums, fans constantly slot Mainepair into the axe speed trainer role and argue he could return to train both Wembu and Flame. If Flame wants a harsh veteran coach who already understands him from the Zam days, Maine makes a ton of sense. Third is Kali, who a lot of people bring up as the pure mace, Monge, wind charge, PvP specialist. In the wiki discussion threads, community members suggest that while Mainepair could cover a lot of combat, Kali would be the ideal pick specifically for Mace plus Wind Charge combos because he's known in PvP circles as a scary Mace player, and fans even pitch him as someone who could go toe-to-toe with Wembu. Since Flame's new tech in the Wanted episode is built around wind charges and vertical aggression, a Kali training arc would lock that in as his signature style. Smurf 4, Theobald the Bird. Theo is Parrot's Season 2 deuteragonist and a major supporting character throughout Unstable's ward. He's not just a fighter, he's known for using carts and range tools in creative ways. On the wiki forums, he's repeatedly labeled as the go-to cart/bow PvP player. People literally say Theo is the only person who can use carts in the story when guessing who might train Flame. If Flame wants to add traps, mobility tricks, and long-range pressure to his kit, Theo is probably the best candidate to teach that. There are 5. Flowtives. External Sword PvP Demon. Flowtives isn't a canon Unstable character yet, but the community keeps mentioning him in Who Should Join Unstable threads. Fans point out he'd be a really fun addition, especially as a top-tier sword odd shield player. Outside of Unstable, Flowtives is a known PvP YouTuber and Twitch streamer who plays on competitive servers like Hoplite. Because Flame literally says he wants to master Minecraft combat, there's a real chance the creators bring in a guest PvP YouTuber to train him, and Flowtives is near the top of that fan wish list. 6th is Sharpness. Sharpness isn't as lore deep on the wiki, but in community discussions, he's named as one of the best sword mains they could bring in. In a not canon community fight concept, people describe Theo as a sword player, but still say Sharpness is better known specifically for sword dueling, while Theo is more associated with carts. So if Flame goes on a tour of pure mechanics teachers, Sharpness would fit the technical sword slot. Number 7 is Wembu himself. Wembu is one of the 4 main protagonists, and for a long time held one of the few maces on the server, which made him one of the strongest players on Unstable. He literally paid Minecraft a mace to train him, and then used that strength to fight Mafia players and even beat Flame at one point. On the forums, some people even suggest Wembu as the mace trainer for Flame, especially if Manipair isn't available. If the writers want more of a rival becomes mentor angle, having Flame swallow his pride and learn mace discipline from Wembu would hit hard. 8th is Parrot. Parrot is one of the original 4 Unstable protagonists and usually plays the big picture strategist, organizing wars, using traps, and going for high-risk plays, rather than just raw clicking skill. If Flame ends up not just needing better mechanics, but better decision-making, Parrot would be the guy who teaches him how to pick fights, control information, and use the server's politics to his advantage instead of always being the hunted one. 9th is Spoke. Spoke is another main protagonist, and one of the most dangerous players when it comes to long cons and big setups. If the Deputy Ace theory is right, and Spoke's been pulling strings in the background, it opens up a wild possibility. Number 10, Clown Pierce. Clown Pierce is already part of Unstable as an antagonist, and is famous outside of it as a cracked PvPer in hardcore Arc SMP content. If the creators want to go full anime with it, you give Flame a train with the villain arc, learning from someone who fights dirty, understands pressure, and has no problem breaking people down to build them back up stronger. Okay, so after breaking down all 10 possibilities, we actually might have gotten a little clue from those silhouettes Flame showed in the video. And look, I'm not saying they confirm anything because we really don't know yet. But those shapes do look suspiciously close to 4 of the people we talked about today. One silhouette looks like an axe and potion user. Another has what looks like a wind charge and a mace. There's one holding what I swear is a TNT cart or a bow. And then there's someone with a sword and shield. If that's actually meant to hint at the mentors, then that lineup gets really interesting. But this is all just guessing. The show cut the silhouettes for a reason. So I want to hear what you think. Which 4 trainers do you see in those silhouettes? Do you think Flame is really about to train with main pair? Does that wind charge and mace combo remind you of Kali? Is that TNT cart actually Theo? And is the sword and shield stance Marlowe? Or someone else completely? Drop your theories in the comments. I want to see what the community thinks before we lock in any real predictions. I'm Lottie. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.